Hey hoster, it's James Griffin here, and I am doing a review on the Mutsu. I just had a very strong game in the Mutsu actually, and it's going to lead to, not only is it a very good game, but it's also, we'll say, shows a lot of her strengths and weaknesses. With the only weakness that it's not showing is a little bit of a lack of penetration on the guns. But before we start on that, let's take a look at the Mutsu herself. Now, before we begin, I did actually have a 0-point captain on her. Not a 0-point captain. I had Kirishima on her. But, when Wargaming did the smoke, basically let us reset all of our commanders because they changed how smoke works. I reset all of them, forgot that I did not respec Hiroshima, and so she was a 10-point captain but had no skills. Which actually makes the game even more awesome, to be entirely honest. Now, the Mutsu is a Tier 6 Japanese premium battleship. It's very rare actually, and it's kind of an outlier. It's not. It's an awesome ship, but it's not the greatest ship. It's just. To bring it down from Tier 7. It's basically the old Negato A hull that they did away with. Made it into the Mutsu, put a couple of torpedo launchers on it, and called it a Tier 6 ship. But she does have some flaws. Her guns are not entirely accurate. They suffer from poor penetration as well. Her anti-aircraft is pathetic. She has 30 caliber machine guns. And in some places her armor is not as good. Now, we'll talk about the armor, and I will actually compare it to the armor of the Negato, specifically, because people always say, well, her armor is, really bad. Her armor is not actually all that bad. They both have 25 millimeters of thickness in the front, in the fore-end plating. If we take that off, we can see a few differences. The barbette armor and the turret facings are 305 at the front, 229 at the sides, which is actually still really good for Tier 6. Her belt is 305 or 229. Her workship is right there, it's 229 and angled. And this is really the only weak spot on the ship when compared to the Negato. If you look over at the Negato, that is 289 as opposed to... no, it doesn't. As opposed to 76 there. Just that one citadel slope, maybe a little bit on the citadel deck. I think the turrets have more armor. Yeah, the barbettes and the turret facings have extra armor. And maybe the sides of the ring. And they're like, this is all better armor, but this is all the same. There's some, I think, slightly better armor up there. So, really, the armor isn't nearly as bad as a lot of people make it out to be, and I'll actually be showing that in the replay I'm showing. Also, it is it's not nearly as insane as a German turtleback, but she does have this nice turtleback here, which does provide some protection from being cyclical as well. But generally the armor through here is not quite as good, but still very, very good. Look at New Mexico. She's got all or nothing. She's got 343. So better armor. She does have a little bit of a turtle back, but it's not actually as much. And then New Mexico's got a lot of other trouble as well. Mostly that she does 21 knots. So aside from the armor, the Mutsu is all about the guns. She has 16-inch, 45 cal or 16.1-inch, 45 caliber third-year type guns. The exact same guns used on the Negato here. The shells are different. The shells aren't quite as good. They don't have the penetration. They do a little bit less damage. But you know, if you're top tier in this thing, you might as well be driving a Yamato in a tier 10 game, because these guns will overmatch the bows of pretty much anything at per tier or below, and even some higher tier ships. With the difference that the higher tier ships won't be able to overmatch your bow. I'm not sure. I can't remember if 15-inch guns can overmatch 25mm. She also has, not by a huge amount, but she has the highest hit points at her tier, 58,400. The Fuso has 7,100 though, so it's not, it's not a overly huge monster. Although the Fuso is also very high. The New Mexico has, 53, the Warship has 3, Hood has a lot, it has 67. Well, Hood is tier 7 though. Dunkirk has 52. So, and I don't have a band, but I imagine it's very similar to the Warship, so I imagine it being that 53. Alright. Torpedo Protection is not that great. It's the same as the Warship. Not as good as the Mutsu, not as good as the same as the Negato, actually. Even though the Negato has torpedo bulges. That's interesting. No, it's 3% less than the Negato. The New Mexico has 42. And it actually has anti-aircraft gun. So okay. The secondaries, it has these 5-inch secondaries. These are the same ones you find on mid to high tier Japanese destroyers, pretty much. They're alright, but there's only 4 twin nets. And it's got 20 of these 5.5-inch 140mm guns. They're very good guns, but they're still only like 4.2 kilometer range. They're the same guns you'll find on anything of a Issei class, which is not represented in the game, but it's basically an upgraded Fuso. Anything you'll find on the Issei class, or later Japanese battleships and that, which are the Negato. You might find them on pretty much just the Negatos so far. But they were actually very good secondaries because you could sustain a high rate of fire with them, as opposed to the 6-inch guns that older ships like the Fuso, 102mm 6-inch guns. These 5.5-inch guns are also the exact same guns that you find on low-tier Japanese light cruisers, such as the Tenryu, the Hibari, the Katori, and the Huma. And they're actually very good. They have very good HE as well, but they're firing AT. But it has 20 of them. But they are kind of useless just because they're very very short range weapons, unfortunately. I really do wish that they would give round the board buffs to secondary. I want like at least 5 kilometers minimum for secondary batteries on all ships. Or, you know, make them give them a more realistic firing range, not like 4.2 kilometers. You're almost never going to shoot anything like that. But that's my opinion. We also have torpedoes. Yes, we have 2 torpedo tubes per side. These are individual launchers, so they actually count as their own tubes. They reload really fast, in like 20 seconds. It's interesting. You can see the reloads inside the ship. It's kind of cool. They really do put a lot of detail that they don't need to into these. The torpedo tubes, they get knocked out a lot. You're going to see that in the replay especially. And I mean, yeah, they're yay torpedoes, 7 kilometers, 7 knots. If we look at the module section, you can see that they are Type 6 torpedoes. What else has Type 6 torpedoes? Well, let's take a look. Yes, they gave them the exact same torpedoes, Type 6, exact same stats as the Tier 4 Isokaze. So this Tier 6 battleship has Tier 4 torpedoes. Come on, Wargaming. Really, I would rather the 2 sec. Well, maybe not. But you could have at least given it like the ones that you'll find on current version Minakaze. Or even the ones you'll find on current version Mutsuki, which have an 8 kilometer range. It's slightly better. The torpedoes are kind of a joke, unfortunately. And they get knocked out a lot, so when you need them, they might not be very good. The AA defense, as I mentioned before, is a joke. It's got these, which fly, 2 defending the bridge tower, and 1 on the watches. It's got... I think these are... these are either the British pom-pom 40 millimeters. I'm pretty sure they're the pom-poms. I don't think that they're Bofors. But it's got these, which are kind of crap. And it does have these the dual-purpose guns, but they're still the AA defense is better. Which kind of makes sense. It is in her, the ship is in her World War I configuration. She didn't really do much. I don't believe that she was ever refit before World War II started. And she's actually kind of got a very lackluster history. She sat port in World War II. I think she might have done a couple of patrols or something, I'm not sure, but she was generally not used, even though she was one of the most powerful battleships afloat at the time. And, well, either there was an accident in one of the magazines, or someone sabotaged it. Probably an accident, but the Japanese didn't want to claim, didn't want to admit that, you know, someone screwed up, so they said it was sabotaged. Either way, something happened in the magazine and the ship blew up in port. Yeah, she really does not have a storied history. In Little Warships, though, she's great. And she's not entirely unupgraded. She's an A-hull Negato. But she has a 26.5 knot speed, which the Negato only has a 25. And she's certainly not unmaneuverable, but she's not incredibly, she has a so-so turn circle. And I actually have damage control mod 2 instead of steering group mod. So you can probably get this down to about 10 seconds. I find that, especially these days, I'm getting set on fire a lot. But she's a very maneuverable ship. She feels very comfortable. That's definitely one thing I can give her, is that she feels very comfortable. Has that beautiful kind of British style bow that I really like. I mean, if you look at, let's see here, look at one. They kind of do this. I really like this. Of course, anyways, Mutsu. I don't think it's very much like that truck, but I don't have the bear. Of course, I have damage control to stop fires and not flood. I have aiming systems mod because, especially her main battery is not terribly accurate. So you definitely want that. It also helps with the torpedo tubes and main armaments mod 1. So even with this, my torpedo tubes keep getting knocked out in the replay. I keep losing. I had at least one gun knocked out. Yeah, it was really great stuff. Not even this can help. And finally, save the worst for last. Her survivability, or her concealment is what is concealment. Of course, this is the same for all Japanese battleships. She might actually have better concealment than the Congo. But the second you fire your guns, concealment is irrelevant. So, yeah. As for the captain, I am using incoming fire alert because I do like to, I don't camp at the back of the map, but I do like to start out slow. So I sort of, you know, keep at range, find a weakness, and then go for that. I'm usually a pretty good shot at long range, especially with ships that I commonly use and know where the shells are going to go. She does have, at least I'm not used to her guns, and I fire mostly on field. So I do use the dynamic curve. Fire mostly on field, and that means if I'm using a unfamiliar ship, my aim is sometimes off. Which is why I use the dynamic cursor. So if my aim is off, then I am not, then every shot I make is going to miss. But I like to stay at range. She's best used as a mid-range brawler. So I have incoming fire alert so we can dodge shells fired by especially other battleships or cruisers. Adrenaline rush. She does have a very high hit points. So it's definitely something you take. You can take high alert or jack of all trades, or for turrets traverse kind of slowly. Expert marksman is good. Last time is interesting because in the replay I do lose my steering at one point, not in a really terrible moment. I'm actually kind of surprised I lost my steering at it. But it's not something that commonly happens. I think it was just a near miss from some HE. Of course, I'm taking Superintendent, so I have more charges on my heel. Which I would have actually been very comfortable if I had another charge on my heel. My hit points are going to get them off. Vigilance is good. You will find yourself in close to medium range combat with enemy cruisers and destroyers. I wouldn't bother with torpedo armament expertise. It's not optimal. Your torpedoes suck. They're a joke. You could go with basics of survivability, but I find it to be survivability expert would make you have even more hit points, but I generally like to stick with superintendent, and if I had another one to take, it would probably be either vigilance or survivability expert, and then basic survivability. But really, you know, if I was 19 points, I would probably only have superintendent at tier 3, and then 4-point skills. Again, the only one I would really take for this is fire prevention. Maybe. And I mean, maybe I might take radio location, but it's not optimal. You should never do it, unless you're really in trouble. Although it is helpful for detecting things behind islands that are pesky destroyers. Having a head stop that you're about to be torpedoed by an American or really any destroyer coming out from behind an island is very useful. And that's a situation where vigilance would not be entirely useful. But she is good at dodging torpedoes due to her high speed. People who are not familiar with the ship will misjudge what they need to do to hit you. Other skills that I would definitely take are preventative maintenance. Keep those modules working. Priority target's a good one. And most of the tier 2-point skills. Definitely high alert, definitely jack of all trades, definitely expert marksman, and maybe even last stand. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah. So like either another drop preventative maintenance and take one of these two, or maybe take last stand. But these ones and these ones are generally, with the exception of these three, maybe vigilance. Would probably be my second choice here, actually. Are not all that great. And these ones, I mean, you're not going to make a secondary build, and it isn't really effective on your secondaries because you're still tier 6. This is going to be useless to you. You're not making a secondary build again. This is going to be of limited use, and I wouldn't even bother with this. Yeah, no, you're not going to be concealed. Spend your points on something else. That's not what this ship does. You're at 16.4. You can get it down to like, what, 14 maybe? Still. I would rather have other bonuses, and the second you fire your guns, you're going to be spotted across the map. So let's get into the game. Hey, and this is our Mutsu replay. While we're waiting for the game to start, though, there is something I do need to bring to everybody's attention, is that the USS Texas, as I was saying, the USS Texas took severe damage from the hurricane that hit Texas. I forget which one it was. And is taking on close to, I think, about 900 tons of water a day. So there are several fundraisers in existence to help keep her afloat. And one of them is Wargaming running one. You can buy the Texas and a whole bunch of other stuff, or even if you already have the Texas, you can buy her camo, a Valor flag, and a bunch of other stuff. 100% of the proceeds will go to keeping her afloat. If you don't play World Warships, you can always, and you're watching this for some reason, there are numerous fundraisers to keep her afloat. And she's the last dreadnought battleship that is surviving, so we definitely need to keep her afloat, and because she's a huge piece of history. There's only one older steel-hulled battleship than the Texas, and that's the pre-dreadnought Mikasa that is in Japan. So if you can, and that was Texas's sister ship, New York, firing at me from the very edge of her range. She temporarily disabled a torpedo tube. If you can, we're going to see that a lot, that New York and the torpedo tube get disabled. So if you can, please donate to her. Just keep her afloat. Now back to our regularly scheduled game. Here comes trouble, some aircraft, but they're not going to go after me. Actually, I now see why they're going to turn back. And it's because of that Cleveland there. Yeah, there's a Leander, he popped his smoke. Did I fire in time to hit him? Well, it went over the hill, so I fired in time, and I got what looks to be a no damage penetration and a overpad. So I probably hit like a torpedo tube or a gun barrel or something. There's the New York, so... And she has a maximum of 50,850 health. Remember that number. But RNGesus says no, and my shot was kind of off. My shots are a little off, just because I'm not used to the Mutsu's gun. I'm using the dynamic crosshairs and all that, but I generally fire a lot by feel. Look at that! Both my torpedo tubes and my steering taken out from no damage, or very little damage hits from the New York. So I have to retaliate, and I slow down so that I don't pull a Notser and run aground. I'm in a good spot anyways. As long as that carrier doesn't come after me. Which he's not. There's a Queen Elizabeth, and she's naked! Put on some camo, milady! Come on! That's just lewd! I mean, that might not have hit if you were wearing proper clothes. Seriously, people, use camo. The only thing that shouldn't have camo is like maybe an aircraft carrier. Or maybe like stuff that can't equip camo, like the Arpeggio ships. Seriously, use camo. If you're a destroyer, at least use the one that reduces the your concealment, and if you're at anything else, use the one that increases dispersion. Please. The only ships I don't have camo on are ships that I don't really use. And I'll put camo on them when I decide to use them. Alright, here's that lander, and oh, he is turning into torpedoes. Well, that's not good. Oh wait, he only took one. And I shot at him with my 16-inch guns, did 3,000 damage. There's the Texas. I'm not sure if that's her base camo. I think that's her Lone Star camo. So that's the camo you get, I think. I don't have Texas, so I'm not 100% sure on that. There's Queen Elizabeth again. Put a dress on or something. Okay, I'll stop with that. And oh, not a huge amount of damage. That's one of the biggest drawbacks of this ship, is her guns are not terribly accurate. They have a weird firing velocity, or at least I think so. There's that New York. And they have terrible penetration. More shots out. Here's a good look at that, right through her bow. I might have bounced those if I was using like a Fuso or a something with 14-inch guns. And of course I take some minor damage from the New York shooting at me. But I think most of them hit a turret base or something. More shots out against the Queen Elizabeth. Another 8,000 damage into her bow. She's trying to bow tank me, but I've got 16-inch guns. You don't have enough armor for that. You need like 32 millimeters of armor to bow tank 16-inch guns. You have 25. I could have got a kill there if RNGesus was just a little nicer to me, but here's a Gevney coming after me. But as you can see, the armor in this ship isn't too bad, with the exception of this area right in here, that small little area. The armor is, and with well, we're zoomed in, but and with some of the superstructure and conning tower and all that, the armor is pretty good actually, or at least equivalent to the Negato. There's an Alba, and yeah, looking at the replay I can see it. That was just a terrible shot. Yeah. Way too far. So now we reload the guns. Ground, nothing going on. Those torpedo plants are way over there. And oh, is he going to run aground? Yes, he pulls an Otzer. 1 citadel, or 2 penetrations, are all I need to kill this guy. And I straddle him at 13 kilometers. RNGesus says no. That could have been a second kill. And there's a reason I'm pointing this out. There goes the Alba. And there's the Congo. The thing with the Congo is that she has a very low citadel. It's right on the waterline, except below this. Well, we'll have to wait until I zoom back in. There we go. Except for right below this X turret there. I'm of course not being a big dumb slow battleship that's sailing in a straight line. And keeping some sort of... anyways, you can't see it with the crosshairs here, but I am actually aiming right for below that gun turret. And the reason is that the citadel pops up out of the water right below that. So that's where you want to aim. And you can see I'm getting close. Now I can't play with the Congo anymore because there was a naked destroyer. What is it with people using... like, just... This guy wouldn't... Why do you not have camo? You're in a destroyer! You might have been able to prevent that! So I got my first kill on a mostly dead destroyer at 58,000 damage in the game now. Why? People, use camo on your bloody ships. There's a Fuso right there. I never noticed that. I was too intent on killing this New York. I almost pull an answer, but I turn. The New York takes advantage of my temporary weakness, but he's shooting a HE. He takes out a torpedo tube, but superficial damage otherwise. He set me on fire, but I really don't care. It would be nice to have had... there's an Emile Bertin shooting at me. It would have been nice to have... he's not doing any damage to me. To have an extra heal charge on this, but there's another 10,000 damage to New York. That's 67,000. I forgot that I respect my commander. And he hits my belt armor. It just shatters. He did nothing. And oh, torpedoes! But the speed of the Mutsu keeps me safe from harm because they wouldn't have hit anyways, and if they were in range, then they would have missed because they were because I'm fast enough to dodge them. So I'm going to have to address this Emile Bertin. You can't just let him I can't just let him be. He is actually a reasonably good threat. And there's another testament to the speed. This New York has actually been very accurate with his shooting. He's generally landed shots on me. Those ones were short, probably because... well, after it's set against the New York, I'm trying to actually bait the Bertin, make him think that I fired all my guns at the New York. I can be tricky like that sometimes. So he thinks that I'm not going to have any guns, but I fucked that up terribly. More shots set against me. New York, he's firing a HE, so I don't care. Yeah, I'm on fire, big deal. More torpedoes from the Emile Bertin, but yeah, they just passed harmlessly behind me because, hey, this is actually a fast battleship. It's not even technically a fast battleship, even though it's very fast. It's super dreadnought. More over penetrations on the Emile Bertin, and look at that! Both my torpedo tubes on the port side are gone. More torpedoes from the Emile Bertin. And I think my secondaries should be opening up on them now. Where are my torpedo tubes? That's where I finally noticed that they were gone. But he's going to try to bring his torpedo tubes around. I'm not having any of that. I turn away. I turn out just in case he fired some. No chances. So now I just have to deal with this New York, which I'm basically a stock tier 7 battleship. He's a tier 5 battleship. Although he does carry a very big stick. There's another 4,000 damage. Yeah, he's completely outmatched in every possible way. I'm thinking there, do I want... Yeah, and I'm turning into Bow Tank. It's only marginally helpful. I dodged most of those. And he's trying to stay angled against me. This guy, I don't think he knows what the Mutsu is. But he's playing very well. Of course, his angling is pointless to me. Because I can just overmatch his bow. And RNG says no. Yeah, no damage. No damage from his HE. This is, like I said, very, very good belt armor. To be entirely honest. And he's trying to bow tank, but I should have... No. No damage penetration. And he's actually going to unload with AP on me here. But, again, my belt armor is insanely thick. There he gets one shot on me. I get a Citadel on him. Half turret, or 4-4 turrets, rather. Just wreck him. And hey look, I'm over 100,000 damage. And my secondaries are actually working over the Zui Hall. Where did he come from? I didn't even notice he was there. Not that I could have done anything except for fired my one torpedo on that side. I had to address that New York. But where did he come from? And let's take a look at how we did. We did 125,164 damage, which is both a new record for me in the Mutsu, and welcome to the 100,000 damage club Mutsu, because I had not previously done 100,000 damage with her. I kind of use that as a benchmark. And yes, I do keep track of what ships I've done over 100,000 too. Or in rather. So I got 3,300 XP, which is kind of irrelevant, but I got 169 free XP, which is very good. I am saving up for the Delson, because I really do want her badly. I think that she's a cool ship. I got a Confederate. Or no, not a Confederate, a high caliber. I probably should have got a Confederate. 54 hits with the main battery, 16 with the secondary, which didn't really do much. It tickled the New York. I shot down a plane, which was probably from the Mille Breton, if it has planes. 3 enemy ships destroyed, which easily could have been 4 or 5, or maybe even 6, if my guns were behaving. 2 Citadels, big deal. Of course, I was top on my team, which I really should be top on my team in a Tier 7 battleship when the highest ship set in the battle are all Tier 6. Well, a stock Tier 7 battleship with torpedoes that didn't do anything. Well, they might have made that cruiser turn to avoid them and give me his broadside, but that could have done, but it didn't. The Bayern shot down 18 aircraft? What? Okay. Yeah, let's not let this happen for real. But our Texans had a very good game. The New York, Congo, and Queen Elizabeth were all on my side and had relatively good games, except for the New York. I don't really know what he did. He probably did a lot, but yeah, he duked it out with a ship 2 tiers higher than him. That's what he did, and he did a well reasonably good job. I mean, yeah, he was completely outmatched in every way. All in all, that Baron had a good game. Um, so I did 55,940 damage to New York. His max hit points are only 50,800. Now he probably could have repaired more, but I kept shooting him with AP. Um, so you can only repair like 10% of that, which actually is about right. Other people were shooting at him too, probably with AP. Um, we sunk the Britannia. We did 17,000 to him. He's got like 30-ish, I think, maybe 25. Um, this guy was just there. I couldn't leave him alive. 24 to the Queen Elizabeth, which is about half her hit point. This list keeps going. Um, but yeah, this is a good shot of the Congo. If you fire just right below this turret here, um, she's very easy to citadel there because their citadel pops right up out of the water. Um, if you're in a Congo, you really want to protect that spot. And in the end, I walked away with 3,367 Commander XP, 169 free XP, and after expenses, 200,000 credits, which is excellent because I'm trying to finish. I've repurchased the Zumo and I'm trying to finish re-upgrading her because, why not? It's my goal to own um, as many ships as I can possibly have, which is actually a fair amount. So this has been my this has been my Mutsu review, and I need more coffee. I was going to say Myogi. Okay, that was wrong. Anyways, have a good one, eh?